Hello, thank you very much. Appreciate everyone taking the time today, and hopefully you can inform me a bit more about Silfab, stuff that you don't know, and certainly as the questions come up, let us know, and we'll address those. And a bit on the background side, and if you want to get into the discussions on compatibility and other pieces as well, I've been on the module side, the inverter side, the distribution side, and the utility scale development side. So let's discuss all things solar and application wise as it relates to Silfab and the industry that we all appreciate here. So Silfab as a company is about 40 years old. At 1981 is the original starting date of kind of the Silfab lineage of companies. It started out with PV supply chain, ingots, wafers, PV grade silicon, some modules, some utility scale development. Those individuals that were involved through the 80s, 90s, and upwards are the original investors in what is now Silfab America and the company that we're talking about today. So it comes from a long lineage of international supply chain. The network is still there. Those individuals are still the major board members for the company, and hence the network is still intact. Actually, one of the investors is actually a cell manufacturer, so one of our major cell providers as well. So the original Silfab Americas was started in 2010. It was an 80 megawatt facility. You can see in the backdrop here in Toronto, Canada. And it was built for the purposes of the Canadian domestic content market at the time, and as an OEM for quite a few brands of kind of major tier one brands that you see out in the industry today. They needed domestic content for various programs around North America, and we had an operational facility and built all of their modules for them. That was a good start. Learned a lot through those early years of working with various brands, working with various supply chains, etc. Continued to grow the company, doubling capacity every 16 to 20 months, all on retained earnings. So no additional debt taken in the company. We were profitable from the beginning, and we're able to just continue to reinvest the proceeds of each year into additional production capacity and R&D, right? And that's the crux of it. Is we need to stay ahead of the pack as far as efficiencies and technologies and warranty and production, etc. And so just reinvesting those dollars into those two pieces year after year. So fast forward from 2010 to 2018 was when we made our first major purchase in the US with a manufacturing facility in Bellingham, Washington. So that brought our total nameplate capacity to about 850, 900 megawatts of capacity in North America. Based on running the modules that we were at the time. Usually I leave an asterisk here because we have also taken possession of another 200,000 square foot facility in the United States and have landed production equipment there and are currently running those lines and start to ship product from that third facility in July of this year. So for us, the name of the game and what we'll discuss in the next few slides is how do we differentiate ourselves? We're not the biggest, we're not the cheapest. We do battle on a daily basis with major overseas multi-billion-dollar groups. How do we stay competitive? How do we provide you a better product, more efficient, cost competitive, etc. It all comes on how we operate, the efficiencies, the mentality of the company in building a better brand and a better product, so that you have something that you can rely upon and you're proud to talk to when you're discussing with residential or commercial customers. So you'll hear in other parts of it, we're kind of a domestic brand with international experience, right? So that's kind of the background behind it is 30 some odd years in PV supply chain globally before the Silfab brand kind of launched in the Americas and has been operational and profitable and growing ever since in North America. So how are we different? How do we keep doing things different? How do we make sure that we stay profitable and efficient? A big part of it is we do not build modules and stick them in a warehouse and wait for someone to buy them. For us, everything is just in time. We build modules based on POs. Every module that is built has a PO attached to it already. That allows us to stay nimble. It allows us to stay relevant with cell pricing, which can fluctuate drastically. It allows us to take control, obviously, of all of our feedstock and our quality control measures. Everything is built and shipped the same day and can be controlled in the same day. So both of our facilities are ISO certified facilities, something you don't see globally, obviously, in a lot of panel manufacturing. For us, the lifeblood of the company, when you go to start PV manufacturing in a continent that doesn't have a lot of PV manufacturing, is you draw from another industry. And so all of the original operational groups that developed, built out, and operated Silfab and are still the COO and major operational managers in the company have been around for a decade. They all came from the automotive side of things. So Six Sigma, the parts per billion defect rate mentality, full automation for the purposes of scaling and quality control. That's kind of the background behind the company as to why we built out our facilities the way that we did. So the ISO certification, the quality control at all the various steps, the robotics and automation. There's 26 to 28 robots operational at any set point, depending on which lines are running. So a lot of robotics in that they don't take holidays, they don't call in sick, they continue to operate. And really the human interaction is there for the purposes of quality control, feedstock, right? You've got to load something in at the beginning, you got to pull something off at the end, but in between, KUKA and ABB, a lot of orange and black robots that fill our facilities. So doing that, make sure that the defect rate's as low as we possibly can have it. Validation through all sorts of third-party, Evolution Laboratories just launched or just shot out that note the other day. Again, top performer awards in Evolution Laboratories testing. All the third-party testing we can do certainly always bodes well for our manufacturing capabilities and allows us to compete very well on the against international competitors. All that said, it comes down to, none of it matters unless we can make money and grow sustainably from our operation. So staying lean, staying very efficient. We have 500 employees in North America. For a manufacturing facility of that size, operation of that size, that's a very low head count. When labor is cheap, generally you hire a lot of people and throw people at a problem. We remain very lean, very efficient, and that has allowed us, 10 years of profitability, 10 years of growth, 10 years of staying in the black and investing every year into new equipment, new technologies, etc. Right, just to allow us to be bankable and stay in a positive light with our partners. So. Major AVLs, I believe we're on all of them. We've got projects on congressional libraries, VA hospitals, Nike headquarters, etc. So as far as the bankability piece, we've always stood very tall and proud and shouted our track record of profitability and legitimacy in the industry. So that's kind of the who is Silfab piece as to how we started and growing the business through the automotive background, but just replicating the automation and the ISO certifications and growing sustainably each year and building product, maintaining our customer base, shipping on time. Strange that taking orders and shipping on time is not all that common in the solar industry these days, as it's growing very rapidly. Another big piece for us, which inevitably we have a bit of a leg up on our competition simply because we do everything here, and environmental standards, not just environmental, but cultural standards and social responsibility, etc. In North America is certainly a larger factor in people's mindsets. So a big piece for us is being green while being involved in a green industry. So building in Ontario, Canada, and Washington State in the US are two of the lowest carbon grids you can possibly find, right? A lot of hydroelectric, a lot of wind in Ontario, a lot of solar in Ontario, some nuclear in Ontario. So that the two grids that we operate from today are very, very low carbon. And that's a great starting place that, the energy we use to produce modules is actually consuming very little carbon out there. Again, the 500 person North American workforce, every single piece of our organization is here. Our product development team sits in offices just down the hall from me. So the product is designed and tested here. The procurement team is here, the manufacturing team, quality control team, the sales, the service, the support, the marketing, 100% of the organization is here. So we don't take long to make decisions because I can travel across the hall and make it, get involved with any group in our organization very quickly. There's no overseas coordination required. We are here, all of us. It's a lean organization, so we all sit down on a weekly basis, make decisions what's best for the company, and move forward. So, and we also have access to recycling facilities that aren't so prevalent internationally. The drive towards recycling and efficiency in water usage and electricity usage, it's very prevalent here, not necessarily in other locations in the world. And so again, it gives us a great starting spot to build from, and we're by no means perfect, of course, but the company is dedicated to it and improves on it every year. So an important part for us is being green while building green. Another piece for us, inevitably, we're all gifted to live and reside and work in North America compared to other areas of the world, and so giving wherever we can has always been a major backbone of the company, even from its earlier days. So two of the groups we work with quite a bit is World Vision and Give Power. And just maintaining presence with those groups so that when they have projects available, that we can donate products so that various school projects, various irrigation projects, various drinking water projects around the world proudly sport Silfab modules, and we're proud to be a part of it, and we'll continue to and encourage again if there are opportunities from your organization or through the BayWa organization, we're open to it and would love to continue to participate in those pieces where we can. Without further ado, the product. The product lineup, we try to keep as simple as possible. There's actually, usually we try to keep two power classes in each of the residential and CNI. Right now we're in a transition stage during 2021, so we actually happen to have three, I guess. So you'll have to forgive me, but we do try to lump it into 10-watt categories. We never do fives. So today the product that's available and shipping, and obviously BayWa has some of this and shipping, drop ship other parts of it. We want to have broad shoulders, right? So again, Silfab has to be slightly different than a lot of our competitors in that we're never going to be the cheapest, we're never going to be the biggest, we're never going to be the most efficient. So how do we have broad shoulders to have a foot in each aspect of the market? Because each state has a slightly different PV market. Each customer is looking for something slightly different. So our residential line card has 3 different products for the purposes of kind of touching on, the good, better, best. How do we touch into a little bit of both, right? So the 360 NX is a great product. We make it en masse. We have 3 production lines on it today, a 4th shortly. It's 19.7, 19.8% efficient front contact module, right? So your run-of-the-mill front contact PERC technology built in our North American facilities with all the automation and quality control that we spoke of, and that's going to be the price point where we can stay as close as possible to our overseas competitors. And then Silfab Prime, which is the white cut sheet in the middle there. That's kind of our middle class product now. We call it Prime because we are building out the additional capacity in our new facility and some of the Canadian production lines are being converted over to this product in Q3. So this will be a major run product as we go through this year and into next year. That is a higher efficiency. So that's a 20.2% efficient all black. So I should say we only build all black residential products. We do not do any white backsheet. We haven't for 5 years, 6 years. I'm not sure how long. We again try to keep it as simple as possible. So all black, 370 watt product. It's 20.2% efficient. As a comparison sake, and I'll name other companies and brands, not to pick on anyone, but just as examples, the Solaria product that kind of gets grouped into the premium category, that is a 20.2% efficient module. So our middle line product here, the Prime with mass availability, that is a 20.2% efficient module. That is a 60 cell M6 product that is available, and BayWa has plenty of it on order through Q3 and into Q4. Then the black cut sheet, which we refer to as our Silfab Elite, that is our high-end product. That is only built in our US facility. It is a back contact technology. So this is it's called metal wrap through. So it is a copper layer embedded into the back sheet. So instead of running strings and buses across the front of the cells to convey the power of the current from the cell to the junction box, this technology allows the power to run through the back sheet. Basically, it's conveyed via a copper layer up to the junction box through the back sheet. So what that does is it changes the aesthetics drastically by removing the stringing and the busing from the front of the module. It allows the module to operate much cooler because there's a copper back sheet that actually dissipates heat much better than a traditional back sheet. So it allows us to increase efficiency. It allows us to remove 2 inches on the length of the module because the busing along the top of the module typically takes up about 2 inches. So all that said, it allows us to build a very premium product. So the 370 is shipping today. The 380 will be shipping in Q3. Those are 21 and 21.5% efficient modules. So similar to the very higher end products, premium products in the market that you see at price premiums of 70, 80, 90 cents a watt. We are very price competitive in a product that has a similar efficiency and is built exclusively in the United States. So it is certainly the highest efficiency product that is built in the United States, and it's shipping today. And we think it's a great addition to the lineup, and it kind of gives us that full range of module line card that says, if the homeowner is looking for price, they've got a big wide open roof and they're only trying to offset 7 kilowatts, great. Maybe the 360 NX or the 370 makes sense. If there's, maybe some affluence, or maybe you're trying to squeeze a bit more power onto a roof because of trying to offset, a larger load, then the Elite product is that high efficiency, all black, beautiful aesthetic product that looks great and allows you to get that extra wattage onto the roof. So there's kind of a full lineup that allows you to be price competitive and also allows you to have that premium offering for that. We see it from anywhere from 10 to 20 to 25% of an installer's lineup tends to be, lean towards that premium side of things. We've got an offering for that as well, so that people can, be comfortable standardizing on Silfab as a product and having an offering that offers all that a customer may be looking for. So on the CNI side of things, right now the 400 is running through its end. It will be sunset kind of by the end of Q3. That is a 72 cell M3 product. So kind of a standard efficiency CNI product that we've had for the last kind of 6-8 months. Good for obviously all your CNI rooftop product. And then from there, we will be kind of skipping over maybe one power class in the middle there. And by Q4, we will be launching our 490 watt CNI product to be able to capture and be applicable in kind of the smaller ground mount, the 2, 3, 5 megawatt, 8 megawatt ground mount, but also have a product that's great for CNI rooftop in the North American landscape today. So my apologies. I was trying to get the cut sheet all done and approved by today, but as you can see by my orange blob, I failed miserably and did not have that finalized and approved. So 490 watt module. All of our CNI product, obviously white backsheet, silver frame, and our residential product being all black frame, all black backsheet, black cell, all black product. So the why is Silfab. To me, this is kind of the most important part, and hopefully what you take away from the discussions today is really why would you use Silfab. All that said, you now know a bit about the background, about the company, what makes us tick, how we've been successful to date. But why does that matter to you, and how is that translatable into talking to customers, and why would you choose to represent Silfab and partner with Silfab out in the market? And I don't like long and lengthy slide decks, so this is simply a laundry list of points that we can talk to, and hopefully there's some questions on these topics, and when we get to the Q&A we can address all these, and hopefully they help you understand why would we be able to grow over the last decade and continue to make major investments into the U.S. manufacturing side of things to continue to grow with this industry. So I said before, that we're not the biggest, and we're not the biggest by any means. Internationally speaking, there are groups that are much larger than us. The big difference is they're not here. This is unmatched availability here. We build all of this product here, all within 2 or 3 days transit of any state, any continental project you can imagine. We can land a container on a doorstep. So the 850 operational today, obviously, made another major investment in this next manufacturing facility, our third facility, which brings us to about 1.2 gigawatts. We continue to make investments here because our partners are here. The use of our product is here. So we make the investments here because that's where our product is and that's where it needs to be. So we continue to build out the company here. So hopefully that's a great talking point for you, that the company is here, the availability is here. We do not ship any of this product outside of North America. We ship from basically Canada to Panama. This product is dedicated to here, therefore giving you the peace of mind, obviously, that there's product available. The lead times are short. The delivery schedule is manageable. It's all built here. It's shipped the same day, and it lands warm still in a distributor's warehouse. So, the peace of mind piece is, for the warranty. We had a 25-year product warranty well before many. It seems to have many followed suit and have kind of matched that at this point. But for us, having the 40 years of PV supply chain experience and all the third-party testing that we've been through, it helps us truly take a stand on our warranty and stand behind our product, and have the longevity to be around to actually honor that. So 25-year product, 30-year performance, and on the performance side of things, it's at a 0.5% degradation rate annually. So of any of the PERC technologies, I believe that is the best degradation rate in the market. You can pay a premium for other technologies, right? So an HJT cell, right? Panasonic uses an HJT heterojunction cell. Degradation of that type of technology is slower. Therefore, they can have a slightly better degradation rate. But using PERC technologies, which allow us to keep our price point competitive compared to those other brands, that is the best degradation rate that I believe you'll find in the industry. So that, homeowners and business owners are parting with a considerable chunk of money. So knowing that the warranty is there to support them throughout the lifespan of the project, and then coming from a company that's been around long enough to actually test it, stand beside the product and test it every 10 years to see where it's at. Hopefully, again, that's a great talking point that gives you the confidence to talk to homeowners and explain why the warranty is a great validating point for Silfab. The O&M side of things, again, I think we touched base on it a little bit, but we lead the industry in that. I mean, it's just having fully automated facilities in North America puts us in a completely different category. So maintaining and coming from the automotive mindset, it just gives us a leg up in the O&M side of things. Now, I came from the inverter space, obviously, where defect rate is just a vastly different topic. Every day it is the main topic. Modules, granted, it's just not as much. There's no moving parts. Modules last for a long period of time without much service, but there are still, when people, cut corners and use subpar materials, there are issues. And, we've prided ourselves for a decade of producing modules here now of bucking that trend and making sure that we build a product that we're proud of. And our defect rate has certainly been able to represent that effort. I list that as an increased close rate. So the reason I kind of mention it like that, at the end of the day, I mean, I think when you enter a home or you enter a business, there's going to be other bids on the table in most cases, and the average price point in a state or a market ends up being approximately the same. I mean, there's no vast differences. People all have to keep the lights on and make a profit. So if you're facing, there's three other bids and they're all at $3.12 a watt, I don't know, whatever they are, and you're coming in at $3.13 a watt. The fact is, you get to tell a better story. You get to say that the company and the brands that you represent, you've been in the manufacturing facility where your modules are built. The entire team is here. There's 500 employees that are paid a good living wage in North America. The profits are all reinvested into North America. That's the differentiating point right there. The pricing is going to be similar. At the end of the day, we're within a couple pennies of all of our major competitors. So the price tag that you put in front of the potential customer is going to be comparable to everything else. Therefore, can you tell a better story? That's just what it's got to come down to is, do you have a better value stack? Do you have a better storyline that makes them more willing or more comfortable or more interested in going with your company and your brand, but also the brands that you represent, right? So that's why we build here, we invest here, and we continue to support here. Innovation, again, if we tried to go low efficiency, low price, we would get killed. There's just no way that a company doing what we do here can compete in the low efficiency side of things. We've got to be different. We've got to stay ahead of the curve and have products that people are proud to represent, and also efficiencies that are competitive to some of the premium brands. So a lot of our money, our R&D team is one of the biggest teams in the company, simply because we need to stay ahead of our competitors in that landscape. So, and you can see that in our lineup. Obviously, we're able to offer a range of products that majority of the module manufacturers today offer kind of either a low efficiency or kind of a medium efficiency product, and they build a lot of it, or they build a high efficiency product. Very few actually bridge the gap between those and are able to provide you modules on both sides of that spectrum. Bid success. So I guess a lot of really commercial implication on this one, but building the modules here. Again, we've got projects on VA hospitals, congressional libraries, the Nike headquarters, a lot of school portfolios, et cetera, simply because people like to support product that's built here. The express logistics, this is probably a lot more important for BayWa than yourselves as installers, but again, building it here, all being within a couple days. If something falls out of whack and the forecasts weren't accurate and you need a bit more product than you thought you did, we can generally adapt things pretty quickly and adjust our schedule, find someone else that might be able to push out a load by a week and adjust things. And we can turn around and land a container a couple days later. So we have, the benefit of having real-time manufacturing and operational and logistical control here where you do business. And that gives us a huge leg up on the logistics side of things. So now here's kind of my final point on this slide, and what leads into the next 3 slides is, okay, if you want to forget all of that and all that you're effectively saying is we represent a tier 1 module manufacturer and it's a 360, 370 watt module, okay, then at least make some money doing it, right? If you're not gonna use Silfab for the benefits and the value stack that it is, then okay, at least let's help you maximize your margin, right? So the idea of basically leading efficiencies without having a premium price tag. And I'll have to use a bit of a hack job Excel graph here to explain, but hopefully I can explain it and it makes sense to you. So if you take a look at, just graph, and please don't let me blow smoke. Take a look at a bunch of different module power classes, efficiencies. Power classes are getting mixed up now as people go to 66 cells and different cell sizes. But so even change that axis on the left to efficiency, versus, sorry, the axes on the bottom to efficiency versus wattage. But when I put this together, it was wattage. As you get higher in wattage, the price climbs, right? Whether it's half a cent every 10 watts, whatever it is, it goes up because the cost of cells increases, the cost to produce increases. But there's a point of inflection, right? And as a Canadian, that looks like a hockey stick to me, but there's a point of inflection where every watt from that point onwards. So right now, that point of inflection there is probably somewhere around 350, 360 watts, something like that. From there, every watt costs you considerably more, right? You look at the price, all of a sudden the price per watt actually doubles. It's incredible. And you don't just have to pay that premium for the 351st watt or 352nd watt. You have to pay that premium on watt number 1, watt number 2, watt number 3, all the way up, right? So it's an interesting kind of evaluation to say, there's a point of inflection where all of a sudden every extra watt costs you a lot. So we took that to kind of our major partners and said, so what does that mean to you, and why continue to use Silfab? And they broke it down like this and said, on the left-hand side of that graph, we lose margin because it costs us a lot to still build the project, right? Our design costs are fixed, our permitting costs are fixed, our truck roll costs are fixed. We still have to use the same amount of people to get there and get the project designed and on the roof. And we only get a 6 kilowatt system on the roof. So we kind of lose margin on that, or we have to charge an exorbitant rate. But on the right-hand side of that equation, we start to face price pressure because instead of building a 7 kilowatt system, we want to get a 7.3 kilowatt system on the roof. But unfortunately, that costs us an extra 20 cents a watt, 25 cents a watt to put that on the roof, simply because I've got to go to a different technology to get that extra bit on there. And to stay price competitive with my competition, the other installers, the other bids on the table, I got to erode my margin a little bit so that, I can make it palatable. Maybe it's only a 15-cent delta versus the 20-cent delta that I paid for that module. And so we start to lose margin. So they said, the ideal place for us to be is simply right there in the middle, right? That is the highest efficiency. That is the highest wattage of product that we're going to get on the roof before we start paying that premium price tag, right? And for us, that's when we can roll as many trucks, we can design as many projects, we can get, as many homeowners with solar on their roof and still maximize our margins as an installer. And so that's, it's a bit of a brute force look at it, but that simple mentality is literally what our product team is tasked with. And when they go off, on a tangent and say, we can go and do a gold plated 480 watt module, sales just sends them this graph and says, yeah, not our market. No one's going to buy it. Not interested. Or we can get really, really low cost, low efficiency cells. Not our market. We're going to get killed against the major overseas producers. Where do we need to be is right there in the middle, the highest efficiencies we can get without stepping up into that major price premium based on technologies. So hopefully I explained that well. That's kind of a combination of internal assessment and external, our major kind of national partners. The way that they look at it and why they standardize on Silfab as an offering is to simply crush as many megawatts as they can per year and make a decent margin doing it. Right? So just two kind of commercials here. I think we're maybe try to finish up in the next 5 minutes, 8 minutes here and get to some questions. I've been involved in a lot of the CNI space. It's not our biggest piece by any means. We are still a majority residential. It is difficult to be a large player in the CNI when you've built a lot of product here. And we actually, and I should elaborate there, we now build, as of beginning of Q3 last year, for the first time in 9.5 years of Silfab America, we started building our 72 cell overseas. So right now our 72 cell are being built in a sister plant in Jordan. So a company that will be using our European kind of expansion. But some of the projects we have been involved with, we've done large kind of retail and school portfolios, a bunch of Walmarts, Nike headquarters, a bunch of kind of ground mount utility. We don't pursue it. It's certainly, we're not opportunistic in that. We don't plan on it. But we certainly have ongoing partnerships with groups that enjoy telling the Silfab story. A lot of them use Silfab for residential, and then obviously just an extension into their CNI space. They know the company, they know the support they receive. They like, talking about the brand, and they utilize that in their CNI business as well. But as far as the majority of our production base today, it is in the residential scope. Just a kind of a select group of pictures, from around, I know one's California, one's Florida. Where's that one? Arizona. I think that's, I'm not sure if we have a Northeast representation there, but anyways, a handful of different states. I just roughly counting the other day, I counted easily 35 states that Silfab ships into on a monthly basis. And I believe it grows every year with new states becoming, PV hotbeds. And we continue to service those markets and partner with the installation base there to provide them an offering that they're proud to be part of. So, last one or two thoughts here is just the again, trying to make sure that we're recognized in various aspects. The top performer award is a big piece for us on the quality side. The top right there, the PVAL top performer. I mean, that's very rigorous testing of advanced life cycle testing from thermal and submersion and life cycle testing in a bunch of different variables. And year after year, we continue to be listed on the top performer side of things. Energy Sage, 2020 was the last one I looked at, but Silfab was the third most requested module brand on the Energy Sage platform, and that says a lot, right? I mean, those are homeowners that are doing their research, going on to Energy Sage and looking at all the various reviews and requesting that Silfab be quoted, because they understand that the companies here, all the pieces we've talked about basically, and all of our modules, because of the efficiencies and the warranty terms, they are all rated as excellent. So again, it puts us in a great group of premium products and gives the homeowner the confidence that they're investing in a great product. The Stevie Awards, business awards. I mean, all of these things just take some audits, take some oversight to have groups investigate the business, look at how we're run, look at the efficiencies. Look at the sustainability and corporate nature that we stand for, and we continue to be recognized in that manner. I think this is my last slide here, and I'll click through most of it. Just the support, as I said, I mean, the support structure is here. So whatever questions you may be, obviously use myself and my sales team here as your first line of support. And if we can't answer the question, then we'll get you in touch with whoever it is between the Washington and the Toronto facilities that best can answer your questions. But they are all here. They are all within 1 or 2 time zones. The website's a great resource as well, obviously, to drop the cut sheets and the marketing materials and register for the warranty pieces and all those files. But if you can't find it there, please do reach out, and you will get a response pretty quickly from someone on the sales team to help answer those questions. So that is what I was wanting to present and kind of cover as an overview. Hopefully there's some questions that come from that, and yeah, I will look through a few of these here. Is that okay, Kate and Jessica?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is I was going to ask if you can access those.
Yeah, perfect. So Dan asked, your degradation rate is twice what SunPower thought is achieved the copper backing, Silfab copper backing, cut the degradation rate. So good question. So SunPower uses 2 different technologies though. So we have a PERC cell on a back contact technology. So we are still governed by the degradation rates of the silicon type that we use, which is mono-PERC. SunPower uses a vastly different technology. They're, what does Maxion use? What is the name of the cell? I'm forgetting it. Whatever that is, it is a back contact cell. So that is an N-type cell versus a P-type cell. These are vastly different. The doping agent is different. The degradation rates are different. They are totally different technologies. And they are probably 30 to 50 cents a watt more to utilize that SunPower technology. So yes, they have a copper backing in that they have a back contact, but the cell type is still vastly different. And that's really the major factor in what controls degradation rates is that cell type that you're using. And I should comment, the robustness and longevity of the back contact product is being reviewed right now, and a new warranty is being developed. We took the stance earlier at the end of last year that we were going to run the product for another year or so and then use that for and then customize a warranty. So we will be releasing sometime in 2021 a better degradation rate and a better warranty period for the back contact product. But at this point, it was just lumped under the same warranty as the remainder of our products. Probably out of laziness, to be totally honest, but good question. Yes, we will be customizing a warranty for the back contact product because without the high temperature solder on the front of a cell, so basically the front end of the manufacturing facility is a GPS based cell placer. So you've just got an arm that's just zipping back and forth and based on GPS dropping cells. And then you laminate that on top of that conductive backsheet. So there is no stringing and bussing on that module. Therefore, you don't have these high temperature solder points along the front of that cell. Those solder points can cause issues. Thermal cycling, longevity of the module can certainly lead to microfiber cracks and degradation. Hence why we will be able to represent a better degradation rate with this product, but it won't be because of the cell technology. It will be because of the back contact technology. So until we integrate a back contact cell, the degradation rates will never reach what SunPower can do with their cell type. Degradation rates can be built with lower failure rates. Do you have something you can share showing better reliability? I think I answered that. Yep, give us another bit of time. I can even check in with the product team today on it and see where they're at with it. But they, a couple of weeks ago, gave me the, yes, working on it. We've got a million irons in the fire. Give me some time, you greedy salespeople. Where is polysilicon sourced from? We have a client that wants proof it is not in China. Yeah, so a huge major topic in the industry today, obviously with the forced labor side of things. Our supply chain, and we have, what is the letter? I think I sent it over to BayWa. So our supply chain does frequent audits throughout their supply chain, the various sources of everything, right? It's not just polysilicon. I think the question was on polysilicon, but the fact is PV glass, junction boxes, EVA, all major components of PV, a huge percentage of the global supply chain comes from China. Much of that Chinese production is not an issue. The scrutiny certainly at this point in time seems to be on the one area in the forced labor issues. So yes, we have a letter that we've released to BayWa that BayWa can send out, stating that through all of our audits, we've confirmed that we do not source any of our polysilicon or products from, and I apologize, but I can't pronounce the location, but the state in China. And polysilicon, any wafers or cells that are built in China cannot be used in North America due to import tariffs as well. So there's also a political safeguard that Chinese-made cells cannot be brought into the US. So we've sourced product over the years. Our cell suppliers have several different locations. We've sourced some from India, some from Turkey, some from South Korea. We had a short-lived supply from Germany, I remember. Unfortunately, German cells are not the cheapest. If you've ever spent time in Germany, a taxi will cost you $40 and a beer will cost you 15. So certainly not the lowest labor rates to be procuring cells, but we have procured some cells from there as well. So we do everything we can to have multiple sources and outside of those locations and China in specific. And the letter that has been provided to BayWa has been provided for those purposes to reassure everyone that of our compliance and adherence and concentration on that topic.
Great. Just want to remind folks to put your questions in the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. There's a little, I've got a, who do you see as your biggest competitor? And what do you, the follow-up question is, what are the best selling points that you find that will win over customers when you're head-to-head against those, your biggest competitors?
I mean, biggest competitor, I think, everyone's biggest competitor in the residential market simply has to be Q-cells, likely because they are 25%. I mean, they are the leading market share. So I think it's tough to not say that almost everyone's major competitor is Q-cells simply out of volume. Second in that also we have similar wattages and similar price tags and so Q-cells certainly in the volume side of things tends to be one of our major competitors. I mean, I've had people compare us to Canadian Solar, which certainly is an immensely frustrating point given that the Canadian name does not represent any of their manufacturing base, and I don't believe they've made a module in Canada in quite some time. But again, not a major competitor in the residential space. I think where and Jinko obviously being a major competitor of ours, where we've now kind of waged war against a completely different competitor is with the Elite product, right? So LG and Panasonic and REC was kind of a new entrant into that side of things with high efficiency, high warranty type product line. That's really become a major new competitor of ours that we have done very well against in the last year or so, simply because we're able to do it here with a different technology. So REC and Panasonic, being the exact same module, just being, I think the cells come from Panasonic and the manufacturing is done by REC. HJT cells, heterojunction cells, are very expensive. So they achieve 21.5% efficiency through an HJT cell with front contact technologies. We're able to achieve the same efficiencies using a standard PERC cell. It's actually a metal wrapped through cell, but it's a PERC technology, and an assembly line that removes all of the stringing and busing from the front end, which is the most costly aspect of our equipment, the most labor intensive. Everything is in the front end. So by streamlining the front end and using a lower cost approach, we're getting to the same efficiencies without the price tag. And you'll have to ask your BayWa representatives to kind of give you an idea of what those prices are. But we're able to get 20% on our medium product and 21.5% on our high-end premium product at a price tag that's considerably lower than some of those premium brands. And so that's kind of the battle that we've been waging for the last bit, and one that we feel we've done pretty well. That answer your question there, Kate? Sorry, and I think you had a second question as well, but
absolutely, thanks.
The other piece of it, we want to be the best of both worlds, right? So we want to be the value stack of all of the premium brands, right? We want to be the best in quality, the best in efficiency, the best in warranty, the best in sales, service, support. We want to be up in the upper echelon of all of that, but we don't want to have that price tag. Right, the price tag needs to be much more competitive. No one has a Silfab TV on their living room wall, so no one's going to go and pay $1 a watt for similar to an LG product. That's crazy. Silfab, people buy LG because there's a big brand, and we recognize that, and we have to all be honest with who we are and what we represent. We don't represent LG in a multinational, multi-billion-dollar company with components all throughout your home. but we make a damn good panel, and we're going to make similar efficiencies and the warranties and the qualities, and we're going to do it without the overhead and do it at a much more price competitive. So how do we bid the best of both worlds, have a good aggressive price point, and also offer the value of all the premium brands?